Inside Studio 3, I'm Matt Vasgersian, and welcome to a very serious edition of MLB Network Countdown, baseball's best facial hair. For the next 30 minutes, you will not be hearing about ERA, batting average, and slugging percentage. Instead, our selections will be measured by important terms like Fu Manchu, mutton chop, handlebar, and soul patch. Who'll make the cut on our countdown? We begin with a close shave. That's two bad puns back-to-back at number 25.
Number 25, Robin Yount.
A two-time MVP, over 3,000 career hits, and a member of Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame.
He's got it! 3,000 for Robin.
Robin Yount's career accolades are many, but it's his iconic mustache that's earned him a spot on our countdown.
Well hit, right field. He's got his fourth hit, home run.
On a team like the Brewers that boasts such a rich history of facial hair, it's somewhat ironic that a player nicknamed the Kid could brew up such a memorable mustache.
Number 24, Gary Maddox.
Gary Maddox is as much remembered for the 8 Gold Gloves he earned as a Philly as he is his facial hair.
Gary swings, it's a base hit.
Maddox, who missed 2 seasons from 1969 to 1970 due to his service in the U.S. Army, grew his famous facial hair to protect the highly sensitive skin on his face, the result of chemical exposure he suffered in Vietnam.
Maddox going, it's over.
Armed with a beard and glove, it's only fitting that Maddox earned himself the nickname Secretary of Defense.
Number 23, Bobby Jenks.
His blonde goatee alone would have earned Bobby Jenks a place on our countdown, but throw in a touch of pink and it's a no-brainer.
Yes, and this ballgame is over.
Mother's Day has seen its fair share of pink bats, cleats, and wristbands across Major League Baseball. But in 2008, Bobby Jenks took the cause one step further, dyeing his goatee.
That will get your attention.
They say real men wear pink. If so, Jenks' facial hair is the real deal.
Number 22, Mike Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt is widely regarded as one of the greatest third basemen in baseball history. But even with 10 career Gold Gloves at the hot corner, one could argue that his mitt wasn't even his best accessory. Equipped with a mustache that inadvertently matched his uniform, Schmidt's red push broom is just as iconic in Philly as the Liberty Bell and cheesesteak.
It seemed like that facial hair just came down from the heavens and just said, all right, you're going to wear a Phillies uniform your whole career. You're going to hit over 500 home runs, with multiple MVPs. You're going to win a World Series title, and your mustache is going to match with your uniform. I wish my facial hair could match with match my uniform.
Number 21, Don Mattingly.
Holy cow, he did it! Holy cow, Mattingly is unbelievable.
While his career accolades have yet to earn him induction into baseball's Hall of Fame, Don Mattingly's stash has earned him a spot at number 21 on our countdown.
Donnie not only had the good mustache, but he also had the eye black that he could go. It start at the bridge of his nose and almost to the back of his cheek. So he always looked like he was dirty.
In my baseball card collecting days, he always had the mustache, and a couple cards early on, he didn't have the mustache. And I remember thinking, man, that's so weird. I think I threw those cards away because I didn't want to look at Donnie baseball without that awesome mustache he had.
Number 20, Sal Fasano.
If you're ever in need of a teammate for a game of horseshoes, look no further than Sal Fasano. The former big league backstop's a dead ringer for the job. He can catch, throw, and comes fully equipped with his very own horseshoe.
Number 19, Todd Jones.
With over 300 career saves, former closer Todd Jones gives a whole new meaning to the term cut it out.
What happens is I shave, and if I shave my mustache crooked, then I gotta grow a goatee, and then I can cut it out.
Strike call. They got him looking.
When was the last time you had nothing?
Had to be college, I guess.
Todd Jones does get his save, his 300th career save.
And then when I'm standing out there, I kind of look mean, but then for the guys that know me, know I'm just a good guy.
Rick Dempsey used to do this during rain delays. And Todd Jones putting on a show here at Comerica Park.
Everything was shaving it totally off, and then no one would know who you were?
No. I can also say, hey, I'm the guy with the mustache. Remember me?
Number 18, Jason Giambi.
We're kind of dirtbags in Oakland, so we don't shave and things like that.
Some may have predicted Jason Giambi's facial stock would have taken a dive in 2002 when the former AL MVP signed on with the New York Yankees, a team with a strict facial hair policy. They'd have been wrong.
With Boston around, he seemed like he got a little growth there. He usually doesn't like, he usually likes the clean-shaven look.
I don't think Boston can complain after the series I had against Boston. I think I gained a lot of respect, from the fans from that. I mean, we had Mustache Day here at Yankee Stadium, and it's kind of cool.
Number 17, Clay Zavada.
In a close vote back in 2009, Arizona Diamondbacks reliever Clay Zavada edged out Hudson River Landing hero Sully Sullenberger and U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder for the Robert Goulet Memorial American Mustache Man of the Year Award.
I just appreciate the votes, whoever got me on the votes. Thanks a lot.
For him, it's great. For Clay, it is perfect.
It's just a matter of it coming back into style and people actually, just having the cojones to rock it, because it does take a lot to wear it, because people do point and laugh.
Number 16, Bill Lee.
If they ever decide to unveil a wing in Cooperstown dedicated entirely to facial hair, our selection for number 16 would be a no-doubt first ballot Hall of Famer.
He liked to be a little different than everybody else. That's what kind of made him a little unique.
Among the many reasons Bill Lee's nickname was the Spaceman, his beard was out of this world. Whether they're groomed with a little help from a friend or on their own, each of these players' facial hair is worthy of our attention. But will they find a spot on our list?
You're watching MLB Network Countdown, baseball's best facial hair.
He rocks a mustache better than anybody I've seen in the last 20 years.
Vernon Wells is right. He has one of the best mustaches in the game.
Rocks it old school.
Yes, he does.
And how is cool is that the players are putting on lampblack as they will play this game with fake mustaches on, which is pretty cool.
As far as the mustache, hey, I never knew that those guys thought that.
Well, unlike Cito Gaston, current Red Sox and former Mets skipper Bobby Valentine is famously remembered for sporting a fake mustache as a part of a disguise back in 1999. But while his and Dallas Braden's finger mustache tattoo may give you a chuckle from time to time, they are not the real thing, like our selection at number 15 is.
Number 15, Rod Beck.
Over the span of 13 years, Rod Beck amassed a total of 38 wins and 286 saves. But perhaps the trickiest save of his career was keeping his mustache. The California native decided to hang on to his look during his entire career, despite it having gone out of style along with the mullet.
He kind of had the long hair, just looked like a truck driver out there. A guy was just ready to just come out there and dominate.
Hair flowing, big Fu Manchu, big burly guy coming in. Someone looks like he just came out of the shower. He's been chopping wood or something like that.
Rod Beck looked like he was straight out of a motorcycle club. His hair was always stringy and always hanging down by his shoulders.
1-2. You called it. 3 up, 3 down.
Number 14, John Axford.
It should come as no surprise that Brewers closer John Axford found his way onto the countdown.
I just saw some guys over here with a mustache sign, so obviously people are embracing the mustache a little bit.
Swing and a miss, and there it is.
The mustache seems to be turned up today for the special occasion.
Yeah, it was. I trimmed it up a little bit last night to try and make it look good. I guess my bobblehead had the curly stash, so I had to make it, look a little similar, I guess. You said you wanted to grow a mustache, but you were going to have some problems with it. You're not too sure if it was going to look good. So I have Axe mustache spray here for you. It's the handlebar version. You just spray it on the upper lip, and this is the handlebar one, and you'll grow a nice handlebar mustache. So this is Axe for men? Yes, it is, yeah.
Number 13, Dustin Hermanson.
When it comes to creativity, Dustin Hermanson may have taken the cake. While brief, the right-hander's career certainly left his mark on the league, or at least on his chin. One that looked like a ball, a wheel, or a biohazard. We'll let you decide.
Number 12, Jeff Bagwell.
Holy Toledo, Bagwell bags another one.
While his iconic goatee came in many shapes and sizes during his career, Jeff Bagwell managed to keep his facial hair rather modest, except in the spring of 2000, when it could be argued that Bagwell looked more like a billy goat than a ball player.
Number 11, Scott Spezio.
Scott Spezio's got soul and a whole lot of spirit. Never more so than in October of 2006 when the St. Louis infielder dyed his soul patch cardinal red.
What kind of feedback you getting about that thing, by the way?
A lot of people like it. I mean, especially Cardinals fans. For me, he gets the originality award because usually people aren't going to dye their hair red, of all things. I think he was trying to go for the poor man Scott Ian look from Anthrax. It worked out. You know, anything to help your team win a championship.
I think now some guys have their lucky shoes. They have their lucky underwear, their lucky T-shirt. Spezio had that lucky growth underneath that lip.
Number 10, Eddie Murray.
Considered one of the greatest switch hitters in the history of the game, Murray made very few switches throughout his career when it came to his signature stash.
Eddie Murray was rocking that. He had the long sideburns that almost connected to the mustache area. Eddie Murray, tough guy, scary, imposing guy. Not because of the facial hair. He can swing the bat.
Ironically, the number 3 looks like a sideways mustache, so it's all the more fitting that his number 33 was retired by the Orioles. We've cracked the top 10, but coming up, superstition has played a major role in the history of facial hair in baseball. But does it warrant a place on our countdown? The answer after this.
Welcome back to MLB Network Countdown, baseball's best facial hair.
Oh, God. Yeah, the mustache.
There are fans out there now emulating the Fuzzy Holland stash.
Well, it's not a big stash, I'll tell you that.
Mustache thing is just me being me, you know, goofing off.
It doesn't get any worse than that stash.
Probably the worst mustache in baseball, but hey, it's whatever.
You know, beards and mustaches may be the first two things that come to mind when you think of facial hair, but not to be forgotten on our list are sideburns, which also qualify. And perhaps nobody combined the two better in baseball history than our selection at number 9.
Number 9, Oscar Gamble.
When the name Oscar Gamble is dropped in the middle of a conversation, it's usually in reference to his outrageous hair. Big O had a big fro, one that could certainly land him atop baseball's best hairstyles countdown. But not to be outdone was his facial hair, an iconic mustache that often featured the sideburns to match.
Number 8, Dennis Eckersley.
The A's win, and Eckersley gets another save.
When it comes to iconic facial hair, Hall of Fame closer Dennis Eckersley is a no-brainer.
Here's Eckersley's mustache. Nice, but nothing extraordinary. I think the hair is better.
You know, Eck kind of had that 80s, 90s perfectly groomed stash. Just like no hair was out of place.
Look at that location.
I think he did his facial hair for looks. You know, made him look good.
Got him, and the game is over that quickly.
Always had the cap pulled down to his brim. All the hair always in place.
You know, he'd give the old fist pump with that perfect mustache after he closed games out for the A's.
Yes, and the A's are the world champions.
Number 7, Johnny Damon.
A 4-year deal with the Yankees in 2006 cost Johnny Damon his signature look due to team policy. But when he showed up for Red Sox spring training back in 2004 looking like a caveman, he immediately took the reins as a frontline favorite in Boston.
The Johnny Damon's look with the Red Sox was awesome. Kind of looked like a prophet. He had the long hair to go with it, the big bushy beard.
Looks like he just rolled out from underneath the rock. It looked like he was allergic to a razor.
I think he rode that long hair and the beard all the way to maybe the most unbelievable World Series title. So if that had anything to do with it, he should have kept it. The Yankees should have let him keep it.
Number 6, Louis Tiant.
One could argue that Louis Tiant's unique pitching motion and Fu Manchu both belong in Cooperstown. Nicknamed El Tiante, one of Cuba's favorite sons dazzled fans over the course of his 19-year career. But it's his stash that we're mesmerized by. With the Fu Manchu in tow, Tiant collected 229 career wins. Coincidence? One internet sports blog doesn't think so, saying, quote, if Tion's mustache put on a uniform and pitched today, it would still go 14-6 with a 3.68 ERA.
Number 5, Bruce Sutter.
If you need a refresher on Bruce Sutter's credentials for Cooperstown, look no further than his Hall of Fame plaque. Perhaps nobody in the history of baseball is more worthy of having their beard cast in bronze. While Jason Mott brought the beard back to the world champion Cardinals in 2011, there's nothing like the original. Add in his 300 career saves, and it's no wonder why Sutter found his way into Cooperstown in 2006. There's some great facial hair represented in Cooperstown, but which of these Hall of Famers is worthy of our countdown? We're shaving down to our top 4 right after this.
You're watching MLB Network Countdown, baseball's best facial hair.
Gillette shaves are easy and quick, and they sure pick you up in a hurry.
They're kind to my face, and they give me the slickest looking shaves.
You can scarcely believe there's a blade in your razor.
It feels good and keeps my face looking good.
So comfortable, you'll say,
This is it.
get your World Series facial where you see this display. The Baseball Encyclopedia is free.
There have been several close shaves in the history of Major League Baseball, both on and off the field. But then there are those who go against the grain, like our selection at number 4.
Number 4, Al Hrabosky.
Al Hrabosky was not the name most folks knew him by, thanks to his fiery temper with the look to match.
If I rip somebody, I tell him what I say.
Al Hrabosky, the Mad Hungarian. He had that mean look, that scowl.
Here comes the Mad Hungarian.
He'd go in the back of the mound before he'd throw a pitch. He had that Fu Manchu that came down, almost down below his jaw.
I always said if you have the name like Hrabosky, most people can't pronounce it. Other people think it's an incurable disease. So I had to create the Mad Hungarian. And in my mind, he was 6'8", 292 pounds, the sinister Fu Manchu and long flowing hair.
He had that mustache working, he had that hair coming out of the back. He looked like a Mad Hungarian.
There he is, the Mad Hungarian at work.
Number 3, Brian Wilson.
Shaving it.
Struck him out! The Giants are world champions.
Brian Wilson, fear the beard.
I think you're getting a lot of power from that out there. What do you think?
Zeus. I'm not sure what that is, but I know one thing. He must have a hard time keeping that thing clean and groomed.
Let's be honest here. It's just doing what it wants. It just does what it wants. That's about all I got to say.
Brian Wilson, I think, is the one for the modern world.
It's tan and it's fierce, so that's all we need.
He did it kind of as a shtick.
Don't laugh at me.
It just seemed like it was so black that it seemed like it was like literal paint over it.
Now that it's finally over, can you tell us how the beard is so dark?
Day games. It's tan.
Do I think he dyes it? No, I know he dyes that.
And then there's the guy with the beard. Where's he? I do fear it.
Number 2, Goose Gossage.
A dominant relief pitcher with a trademark mustache whose menacing glare and exploding fastball intimidated batters for more than 2 decades.
He's known simply as Goose, but make no mistake about it, those aren't feathers on his upper lip. That's Colorado Springs fur.
I had grown a beard in the off-season. George's rules were, you know, nothing past the corner of your mouth. And Yogi's standing right there, and he said, hey, says you gotta shave that crap off. I said, I am, Yogi. So I went in the bathroom, came out, and I, just to bust Yogi's chops, I kept his Fu Manchu. I kept it, and I thought, yeah, I kind of like that Fu Manchu.
Apparently, Goose thought that the mustache added to the intimidation factor. Put it this way, any major league hitters who thought the mustache was really kind of funky and goofy looking, they weren't going to tell that to the Goose.
24 down, 1 to go. But before we reveal the top spot, let's look back at how we got here.
Just try to play each day one at a time.
Maddox going, it's over.
That will get your attention.
I wish my facial hair could match my uniform.
I gotta grow a goatee, and then I can cut it out. We're kind of dirt bags in Oakland, so we don't shave.
For Clay, it is perfect.
a little different than everybody else.
Straight out of a motorcycle club.
Obviously, people are embracing the mustache a little bit.
Holy Toledo, Bagwell bags another one.
A lot of people like it, I mean, especially Cardinals fans.
Sideburns that almost connected to the mustache area.
Nice, but nothing extraordinary. I think the hair is better.
Kind of looked like a prophet. He had the long hair to go with it.
You look great out there, man.
He came at you quick.
He was 6'8", 292 pounds, the sinister Fu Manchu and long flowing hair.
And then there's the guy with the beard. I do fear it.
Just to bust Yogi's chops, I kept this Fu Manchu.
It would be unfair for us to count down baseball's best facial hair without mentioning the mascots. Mr. Redlegs, Bernie Brewer have some of the best in the business. But even with Bernie's mustache being so nicely sewn to his lip, he's no match for his fellow Milwaukee colleague at number 1.
Number 1, Raleigh Fingers.
Let's face it, the man's mustache requires no introduction. They may as well rename the handlebar mustache the Raleigh Fingers.
The big right-hander with a handlebar mustache.
It took me about 3.5 to 4 months, and I kept turning it up, and some of the guys told me not to cut it off and keep it, so I just kept it, and it kept getting longer and longer, and I kind of like it right now. My wife likes it, and I'll just keep it as long as I can.
Top facial of all time, no doubt about it, Raleigh Fingers. He's got the handlebars, just little curls right here.
Best facial hair for me, hands down, Raleigh Fingers. I think he has the most recognizable, distinguishable facial hair in the game.
The signature handlebar mustache, class, but it looked good.
Raleigh Fingers, no doubt, hands down, best facial hair ever.
So there you have it, baseball's best facial hair. And with that, we'll put the wraps on another installment of MLB Network Countdown. I'm Matt Vasgersian. We'll see you next time. Oh, come on, who did that? Clean it up.